Hi, this is the help video for Access Chapter 12. We're learning all about macros, and so the macro that we're going to work on now, we're going to begin at step 21, and this is what's known as an auto exec macro, because it will automatically run when you go into the database, and it'll sit, whatever you have in there kind of sits in the background. Like we just saw those key combinations, right? So we can automatically load things that can be used, or we can automatically perform something when we start our database. So we're going to create a new macro. So create macro. And the first thing we're going to do is a comment, because that's what we normally do. Put our documentation. This macro will run each time the database is opened. Oops. Opened. It minimizes the navigation pane, opens the invoice form in a new record, and sets the focus on the invoice date field. Okay, so that's the comment. What the heck does that mean? So when you open this database, it's going to automatically minimize this thing, right? It's going to open the invoice form, customer invoices, and put it in the invoice date. I have a typo there, date field. So that's what we're going to create. All right, so 21 is done. Let's look at 22. Add the select object action. Okay, so select option, select object. And then it's going to be a form, right? Because that's every time it opens. We're going to select a form. The form is form customer invoices, and yes, in database window. So then the next step would be to minimize the window. Minimize window. So we're done with 22. Now we're going to open form, customer invoices, form view, data mode is edit, and normal. So that part is done. Then we're going to go to record. So we're going to pick go to record. The record is, the object type is a form, customer invoices, and new. So we're using this, and we're going to a new. All right, go to control. So go to invoice date. That's the field that we want to position our cursor in after we open the form, go to a new record, and then it's going to put it in this invoice date field. So the last thing we need to do is to save this as auto exec, which would mean that it automatically opens when you get into the database. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close out of my database, and then I'm going to open it back up. So downloads. So I'm going to open it back up and look at what it did. It minimized the navigation pane. It opened up it should have opened it up new. Hold on. So it looks as though something is incorrect here because it's taking me to the first record and not a new record. So let's go ahead and I'm going to minimize that. Let's go ahead and look and see what mistake I made. So this is good because you can form customer invoices. Yes, form customer invoices, form edit normal, form. I picked next here instead of new. Right? So new. I'm going to save it and I'm going to try and run it, and there we go. Okay, so let me get out of here again and pull it back up and see if it takes me to the right thing. Right? Minimized. I'm in the form. I'm in a new blank form. So perfect. It definitely worked. So I think that's good because not only do we see how to do that, but we saw when there's an error how you tested for it. It didn't quite match. You go back in and you make sure that you don't have a typo. You don't have, like I had the wrong N word picked. I picked next instead of new. All right, so I am going to, we're done with 25 here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this movie. We'll have one more movie, I think one more, 26 through the end. All right, thank you.